Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. My name is Preston. If you're new here, welcome. I'm a professional recruiter, been doing it for almost a decade now, running and scaling my agency. And if you like these videos, want to see more like it, feel free to give us a like, subscribe, click that bell. Honestly helps out a fellow recruiter. But in this video, I want to dive a little bit more into the world of client acquisition, specifically kind of sales and lead generation tips that you can implement right now. So let's get started. The first tip is to really take a good intake call. This is such a good opportunity for you to be able to show the client that you are an authority. You know exactly what you're talking about. You become more of a partner and consultant and less so much as a nervous nobody or a random person who just wants to get their business. This is literally like the first date where they're feeling you out, and everything here matters, from what you say, how you say it, how you look, and most specifically like the insights and advice that you give them. This is why it's so important that when you're going into recruiting, you need to know your market really well. And if you don't know where to start, what type of market, check out previous videos, but this is exactly the stuff that we teach at the Recruiter School. But when you're taking these calls, it's really important for you to have data, insights, market access to, compensation, the trends, what's happening, what's not happening, what are some things that the clients can expect, where are they going wrong in terms of what they're hiring. Because if you don't do this, you're really not going to come out as a central authority figure, or more importantly, like a really important, insightful partner that they would like to be able to work with when it comes to having help with the recruitment initiative. So when, for example, we take calls with clients, we go really in depth because we know what the market wants. For instance, if they really want us a graphic designer or maybe a software engineer, we're able to go really deep in depth, not in terms of crystallizing the ideal profile, making sure we're fully aligned, but also being able to kind of keep the client in check, saying, oh, you're looking for someone with 5 to 6 years of experience, you're looking to pay them like $110,000. That is not going to happen, right? Because they are completely lowballing the market, they're unrealistic, because we also know the market, right? This is where like understanding firsthand knowledge and experience helps, because you can call them out, or you could be like, hey, if this is really what you want, maybe we should target someone more junior, or maybe you need to come up higher on the salary, because it's going to be very difficult to build any sort of talent pipeline for you. So it's really an opportunity for you to be able to impress them, to bring your skills and knowledge to the table, so that they're like, wow, like working with Preston or working with X, Y, and Z really knows what they're talking about. They know the market. I'm confident that they will be able to go out there and execute and find someone that we really want to hire. Do you want to try to tailor your outreach methods to the industry? Are you struggling with getting responses from clients? Are you an established recruiter who is struggling to break 6 figures and beyond? Are you looking to start recruiting part-time and you don't know how? Do you feel burned out and stuck spending hours and hours each day in manual tasks like sourcing and outreaching, and feeling like you have no time to actually run and grow your business? I am absolutely happy to announce that we have launched our own recruitment, educational, and coaching program to help you on your journey. We made sure that everything I've learned in the past 10 years, the tips, the strategies that really helped me build multiple 7 figures of placements on my own desk with some of the best companies in the world, will be included in there. We'll also be including things like how you can build an acquisition system that brings in clients every month to your agency hands-free, how you can maximize the probability of a positive close during negotiations, how you can automate and outsource your day-to-day operations so that you don't have to spend hours per day researching or sourcing, how you can figure out the new and modern way to scale your agency that minimizes risk and maximize your upside potential. And we've also included much more. The best thing about this is not only will you be getting amazing content, but we will also handhold you and be with you every step of the way to make sure that you are held accountable and you crush your goals. We'll also share with you our own tech stack, tools and plugins we actually use, plus everything else we know about automation and AI to help you save time, work smarter, and not be a slave to your business. The exciting news is that we've actually rolled this out to a select few people earlier this year, and I'm excited to see them well on the way to multiple 6 figures, with some breaking $30,000 to $50,000 per month already. So if you're interested to be a successful recruiter that can dominate in any market conditions, make sure you click on the link below to chat with another member of our team, and we're happy to chat with you to see if we can help you out. Make sure you jump on this really quickly. See you on the other side. The second tip that we want to share is you want to try to tailor your outreach methods to the industry. For some industries, cold calling might be the go-to. For others, it might be emailing. For others, it might be messaging, right? If you just know one channel, you could of course get by, right? I think email is still a fantastic method to be able to achieve mastery and utilize, but you could also find a lot more success or compound it if you add another channel on top of that, or if you also had like a plan B or a plan C to also test. For example, let's say that on the whole, right, you're going into a market and emailing works great, but what if, maybe you're emailing a couple companies, it just so happens that the hiring managers of these companies don't check their emails, they're horrible. If you just keep emailing them, they may just never respond back back to you because perhaps they're just ignoring you. It goes to spam, it goes to junk. But what happens if you switch it up and maybe you tried email, you didn't get anything, and you're like, oh, maybe I should just call them. And then maybe the first or second ring, you get them on the phone, and then you can kind of collect the information, pitch your service, and then convert them into a client. If you never tried or implemented other tools or channels, you may have completely missed an opportunity, and that's just a lot of money on the table. So it's very important to operate with a lot of different skill sets. You really want to operate almost with like a Swiss Army knife, where you can have 3 or 4 tools at your disposal that you can test, so that if you're really trying to get into a company, you can be creative to get in front of this person in different ways possible. If all you're doing is just sticking with one thing, that's totally fine when you're starting out, but I highly recommend in this competitive market, you need to have comfort, let alone mastery in multiple channels to really be able to kind of try increase the probability of you getting in front and getting a response from a target company. So adding another point to that, it's also equally important to our first point to really get to know your market and your target persona in terms of the target clients you are reaching out to, depending on some industries, right? Like a long email is great. Other industries, short email is better, or long messages or short messages or cold calling or not. So my whole point here is that while you can still achieve success using one method, you have to adapt and you have to be willing to adapt. And the higher the chance that you have when it comes to deploying and utilizing other methods, the higher the chance of success you'll have, not just reaching out to this specific example of a company, but many others in that market. The third thing that you want to do is, of course, when you take on these clients or you do these intake calls or you do these video calls, it's really important to be professional, right? It's obviously common sense, but it's also very, very important to be personal. So you got to have a really good balance. You know, being professional, conveying that you are an authority figure, you're there as a consultative partner, you know, also you're like a human being. You're personal. You're there to kind of break the ice, develop trust. People want to work with people that they like, that they get along with. If you're just coming off as a really unemotional robot, who wants to work with you no matter how good you are, right? At the end of the day, you know, we're there to get their service, and no matter how good of the results or track record that you can kind of convey to them in terms of like your presentation or your pitch, it really, really helps if you also just come off strong with that human touch. You're able to connect with them, you have a little icebreaker, maybe there's something about the background you have commonalities with, and maybe you just kind of find a good balance of just chilling, smiling, making jokes here and there tactfully, but still remain an element and baseline of professionalism. So you don't want to be informal and completely casual and personal, but you also don't want to just try to be super boring and professional as well. It really requires a nice kind of even 50-50 of both. Professionalism with an air of personality and casual informality, smiling and, you know, tactfully understanding the right opportunities to be able to kind of, you know, make fun of something or just, you know, take lightness into the conversation. It really, really does help. So people buy at the end of the day from people that they trust, that they have connections with. This is a relationship business. Sales and lead gen is 100% based on relationships and communication and trust, and not so much like, hey, look at my PowerPoint and I'm a robot and this is why you need to work with me. That could of course work to a certain extent for many companies, but on the whole, from my experience, it really does help to also find ways to just come off human as well. The next step that we do want to talk about is you want to listen to the data, okay? So whether you're outreaching in a certain channel or whether you're taking these cold calls, you're doing these intake calls, there's no point to not take any action and to overthink everything. Like, I need to perfect this email, I need to perfect this LinkedIn messaging, I need to perfect my cold calling, I need to perfect all these different tools before I do anything. Because if you do that enough, you're just never going to move forward and you're just never going to take that first step or action, which means your business or desk will never move, right? I would rather that you just get things good enough and you go out there, you deploy them, and most importantly, you wait for the data and response, and then you iterate, okay? It's very easy to be like, hey, this is what I think the market wants. Let the market tell you what they want. But it's very important for you, like I talked about, to have a comfort level of multiple different channels, multiple tools to be able to utilize, to be able to go out there, know how to outreach and personalize, how to follow up, all that good stuff. But the point here is that you want to go out there and just do it, okay? And then iterate over time as you get real-time feedback. That's how you learn, because just because you know one method, you'll learn that maybe in your specific market, the market is responding more to longer emails or shorter messages, or like cold calls versus emails or messages or anything else, right? And you're just not going to be able to get that data if you're just never going to go out there and test. So a lot of outreach, while it's really important to make sure you're reaching out to the right person, the right company, you're the right CTA, you're the right personalization, it's also a testing experience too. A lot of the stuff that we use today are very similar to what I did 10 years ago, but it's just been implemented, it's just been iterated and evolved and slightly improved over time as time goes on. So listen to the data, pivot in real time, iterate, but don't iterate based on your assumptions, based on real results and feedback. It's very, very easy to kind of get into this never-ending spiral thing saying, hey, this is what I think the market wants. This is what I think the customers want, or the target customers. This is how I'm going to improve it. And you can spend like hours or days or weeks that go by, and you just end up not doing a single phone call or a single email. Action, listen to feedback in real time, and then iterate. The last thing that I want to talk about is the importance of being able to really guide and control the kickoff call or the intake call. That's what we call basically calls with clients, the first call that you do with them before you start any engagement. This is literally like the first date where you basically set the stage and you make it crystal clear, like what you like, what you don't like, but the expectations and what it could look like if they work or they choose to engage in a relationship with you. A lot of times, people with no experience and minimal experience will come to me saying, hey, Preston, I am getting these clients, but they're just not treating me with respect. They're reaching out to my client. They're reaching out to my candidates behind the scenes. They're just not responding to my emails. They're just like, being horrible when it comes to communication. All of that is super bad, okay? What you have to do, a lot of that is a result of just not doing proper intake calls. But most importantly, if you are, you're just really not establishing the cadence, the expectations of what it's like to work with you. Us recruiters, we are not just resume vendors. We don't just send companies resumes and that's all we do. We are literally a partner. When people work with my agency, we are a partner. We make that very clear. Like, these are the rules. These are the criteria that you need to play ball with us if you want to engage with us, because ultimately we all have the same goal. We want to go out there, find the best candidate for our team. And if you don't do X, Y, and Z, that's going to make our life difficult. And then we can't go out there and do our best job for you. And then it's a lose-lose for everybody. So it's very, very important to control the call, to make it clear. And going back to control, it's very easy to have these calls with clients. And if you don't have clear structure and a clear objective and goal, the calls will just go nowhere. You're going to be very, very nervous on what to say to the client. They're going to take over and you're just going to end up, not talking about anything. Then the client has to go. You didn't achieve really anything. And you're like, how am I even supposed to start a search, let alone an effective relationship, right? So it's super, super important to be able to guide the clients smooth, but also control and provide structure and make it 1,000% clear on what the relationship is with you. What we also recommend is you can do like a weekly or bi-weekly check-in to really kind of go over the data, the responses, how much outreach you're doing, and the status of the pipeline. But none of that matters if you completely drop the ball from that first conversation. So come to that first call, be serious, but you know what? We're here as a partner. This is our expectations. This is what we need you to do. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna meet each other 50-50 in the middle so that we can achieve a collective goal in getting talent, the right talent for this job so we can close it. So hope you guys like this video. If you wanna see more videos about client acquisition or sales or lead gen, please let me know, comment down in the box, and then we'll love to kind of hear from you. But if you like this video, please consider supporting a fellow recruiter. Once again, give us a like, subscribe, click that bell, would really mean a lot. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one.